Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and in this video, or podcast, depending how you're getting this, I'm going to show you how to get your own Garaget controller up and running. And it's a lot simpler than you might think. And that starts now. I've always been suspicious of those items that say no tools required, no assembly required. So I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get into with Garaget, but I was very surprised. Very straightforward. And what problems I had along the way were totally on me. One thing I will tell you up front, that when you go to set this up, you'll set this up with Wi-Fi and your smartphone. Get your smartphone on a 2.4 gigahertz based SSID, because that's what this is on. So when your phone tries to start talking to it, when it goes through the configuration process, and you'll have to manually move it over the first time, but when it goes to reattach, and you may have some quirks, and it's not the Garage's fault. It's depending on how well your phone changes between different SSIDs. But really, once I started my phone out on a 2.4 based one, this just lit right up and it works. So as they say, on with the show. So first we're going to go through the setup process to get things up and running. And I've got this kind of in bullet points, not down to click here, but the general steps you'll have to go through in the description for this video or podcast, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're getting into. But really, you'll need one little tool, and the folks at Garaget send that with the device, so you don't have to go find like a jeweler's screwdriver. They send one with it, and God love them for doing that, because I don't always have mine handy where I can find it, and it just makes that process that much easier. So as they say, let's go ahead and get started, because we've got several different things to go over this time. Now we'll go ahead and get started with the setup of the Garaget device. So we'll go into the app. Now I've not been in here before, so I'll go ahead and get an account set up. Okay, and its installation pretty much walks you through, so let's go ahead and get the power connected to the Garaget device. And they do tell you in the documentation, and please be careful when you're plugging in the USB cable, because if you don't hit it just right, you could break the connector. So we'll tap on ready. Yeah, we'll go ahead and access it. Yes. Okay, and it did find the device, and it matches. So we will tap on the device. Okay, we'll keep the Wi-Fi connection. Okay, obviously lesson learned here. Start out with your device on 2.4 gigahertz SSID. Aha! Making sure it does cycle. Okay, well, now that we've gone through that part, now comes the next part of mounting this under the garage door and putting the reflective sensor in place. And as you can see, it really it was that simple. I had a few missteps that were totally on me. Like I said, I mentioned before about I normally keep my phone on a 5 gigahertz based SSID, so that caused some heartburn. And where you saw that one little pop-up screen that it says keep Wi-Fi connection or go to cellular, trust me, keep the Wi-Fi connection. Now, not all phones can do it. I mean, I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, so that may be something unique to the way the Android has been set up on this. But other than that, it took, like you see, I had it edited down where it was just basically a couple minutes. There was some waiting that I took out because that really didn't yield any value. But there's two things that we'll do in the garage, and let me bring some pictures over here. One of the first things we'll do, and let me bring that one in, and that one. Now, this is the picture on the right here. Let me get these a little bit out of the way so you can see me a little bit. Now, the one here, this is where I mounted the Garaget device under my garage door controller. So the cabling that you see connected here, that's where the little screws went. and then it goes, I trace down the wiring from the wall mounted controller and I just piggyback it in there. Now you may have to, there may be screw terminals on your controller. There may be other, let me get this, here we go. I can get this out of the way here a little bit. There. There may be push terminals, so I just took my truck keys with me and pressed those in, and I could get the wires right in, and I pulled on it just a little bit to make sure it was firmly attached. Then I plugged in the USB cable where it gets power, and I went to the same outlet that the garage door is on. Now, something I would suggest doing, and this is going to be something that, you don't have to do right away, would be a good idea. They make very small surge protectors, like 3-outlet surge protectors. And I would put the garage door controller on, and I would specially put this device on it, because having just been through a 3-day power outage myself recently, then that's one less thing that I would have to worry about when that does happen. And really, what I also mention in the instructions is there's a double-sided sticky pad that you'll put on the other side of Garaget, and that's how it holds itself up to the garage door controller. Before you pull up that other protective piece on it where the adhesive is exposed, do some test placings or fittings, however term you want to use, and look at where the light, and you really can't see it because I had to use the flash to get a good picture. You'll see like a pencil beam. Look at where that's coming on the garage door, and if it looks like it's in a pretty good place, and I came down about 3-4 inches here, and that's where it seemed to be the best fit for me. And then I took the adhesive off, mounted this, made sure that it was still in that same position, and then got back down off the ladder. Now, you notice I'm using the blue painter's tape here, and the reason for that, and it's suggested in the Garaget instructions, this is to temporarily put this in place just in case you find you have to make some adjustments. Because even though they do send a second one, why use it if you don't have to? So after a couple of days and it looks like it's all right, then I'll peel off one side of the painter's tape, get the adhesive protectant removed, and then put it down, and then drop it as close as I can to where it is right now. Or what I may do is take a Sharpie and work around the edges of this just to kind of give some reference points, and that way I don't have to fool with trying to pull up one side and then put it down. But that really is as simple as it gets. I mean, it took me longer to get the ladder out than it did to get things up and running. So really, it's just that simple. And I really didn't go through any of the directions because I wanted to see what I could manage, and that tells you the quality of product the Garaget is, that you don't have to read a 45-page engineering manual to get this up and running. So some of the next things that we'll be dealing with in the coming weeks is getting this talking with Alexa, getting it talking with Google Assistant, and then we're also going to be working with something called MQTT, which is getting this to work with Home Assistant. You've been seeing me do some other videos on. So if you've been looking to try to tie your garage door into your smart home, Garaget's a good way to do it, because you get some feedback because of the little pad. Well, see, I can get the box open here. This is one of the, it's easier said than done, but there we go. Come on. There. This does not want to come out. This is the spare pad they send with it. So it took more time to figure out where to get this mounted ideally. And then really it's very straightforward. It's very affordable. I've got a link to Amazon where you can buy it if, when you want to go get your own. So it's useful, because now the only thing you'll have to be aware of, and you should be able to see this on your garage door if it's one of these, there are some of what are called the Security Plus garage doors that in that case, you can't tie the Garaget directly into it because of the security that's in place. So what you'll need to do is go get an extra controller, trace down the 2 wires that are going to be in that and tie it into Garaget that way. It's not ideal, but that's not Garaget's fault. This is common to any of the automated controllers that I've looked at. If you have a Security Plus garage door system, then you're going to have to do this no matter what. So thank you very much for your time and watching this video. With the release of this video, I'm now at over 1,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. If you know someone who might be interested in doing some work and setting up their own smart home, please send them a link to this channel. If you do buy one of the Garadgets, and I hope you do because I'm enjoying mine and I'm probably going to go get a second one in full disclosure, Garaget did send this one for me to look at, but I've got a second garage door and I'm going to be getting one because I want to put both doors on it because that will be very handy. And it's something for you homeowners or renters that have a multiple garage door system. Garaget works very well with that. So it's another good reason to look at it. So there is a link in there. If you buy it, great. I appreciate it. I do get a small commission, but I'm more concerned about you getting what's best for you. This podcast, the audio version of this video is available as a podcast at techbiteswithronnutter.com. You can also get it as a flash briefing on Alexa. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.